Later that day, I come home to a note on the door. Well, I know that these sort of things can be targeted. It's the gaslighting for me. I immediately smelled smoke. There was just smoke filling up the room. Hi guys, how are you doing today? Like, comment, subscribe. I'm done embarrassing myself. Hi guys, it's Adria. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have another story time for you guys. As requested by one person in the comments of my last video. I mentioned in that video that my neighbor caused us to get renter's insurance. That is what happened. But before we get into the story, I just want to address something. So I've gotten a handful of comments on my past neighbor storytime videos of people saying that I've been too harsh. People don't like the way that I handled the situation or the way that I talk about her, any of that sort of thing. And I just want to address this right now. I have very mixed feelings about this person. Up and down, you know, I go through it. Oh, but she's old, but she's crazy, but she's ruining my life, but she's just a lonely old woman. Like, it's all of it. I get it. So I understand to you guys that could come across in some type of way. And I just want y'all to know that I don't just straight up hate her and that's it. It's not so cut and dry. There's a lot of nuance, if you will. I don't like people that use that word just to sound smart. But anyway. I also want to know in the comments if you've ever had conflict with yourself about how to feel about a person or a situation, maybe a way you handled something, because that's me with this whole thing. With my neighbor, I'm conflicted about the whole thing. So something else I also want to address is that people have commented saying I should call for a wellness check for her. I don't really know how wellness checks work specifically. Maybe if you know anything, you can fill me in the comments how those go about. But my fears, they would come, like she wouldn't be acting weird, she'd be acting fine, they wouldn't do anything, they'd leave. And then she finds out that we called for a wellness check and then just doesn't let that go. And now I've got to live in close proximity to this person that is pissed that I called the police on them, even though it was in their best interest. That could scare you. Like, I don't know, living by yourself and police showing up at your door, that's scary. If I knew 100% that something would come of the wellness check, 100% I would do it. I would not hesitate to do it. But her episodes are like sporadic, you know, she's not freaking out every day. It's like every few days, maybe once a week, and they space out. What if nothing comes of that and then she just hates my guts? I don't know. I never know what to do. I'm so bad at decision making. Have you noticed? Okay, so this where do we even begin? If you have not seen my other neighbor story times, I would start there. Link is up here if you would like to go watch those first, because they are a bit chronological and it does build a lot more background. There've been a lot of small things here and there over the past few months. At the beginning of the pandemic, she gave Brandon and I like this half-eaten cherry pie. That was strange. She talks to Brandon like I'm not standing right there. There was this one day, Brandon and I were going to go out for a walk. This was back when everything was still really closed, so we had nowhere to go. And at this time, we did not have renter's insurance. I knew that we should look into it. I had it in the back of my mind, like, yes, this is something we should do, because I knew that if I didn't, something would happen. Like, we went for a walk and we were going to go to the grocery store immediately after, but I had to pee super bad. We came back to the apartment and I was just gonna run in and pee. So Brandon waited in the car. I even left my phone because I'm like, I'm just dashing in to pee. I will be right back out. As soon as I opened the front door, I immediately smelled smoke. And I was like, that's strange. It just kind of hit me when I walked in the door. And we do like share a wall right there with the neighbor. So I'm like, it smells. So I was like, whatever. I made my way up the stairs. And it was pretty dark in my apartment. We usually keep it pretty dark just to keep it cool in here while we're not home. I was in the bathroom, and as I'm sitting in the bathroom, I'm like, it smells like a barbecue. I'm like, I wonder if somebody's barbecuing, because we do have neighbors behind us as well, and they have like a grill outside. So I'm like, maybe they're barbecuing? I don't know what I was thinking, but it was weird that I could smell it in the house with all the windows closed and everything. It just seemed strange. I leave the bathroom, and as I'm making my way back toward the living room and kitchen, it's foggy in here. It's dark and it looks foggy in here. I was like, I just felt my stomach drop. I knew that something wasn't right. I ran to the kitchen because I knew Brandon had cooked something that morning. I think he had made bacon that morning or something. Maybe he didn't turn the oven off. Maybe something was in there. Maybe something in the kitchen caught on fire. Maybe a socket caught on fire. I didn't know what happened. There was just smoke filling up the room. I always make references, but like Elliot's house in the movie E.T., like y'all, it looks so smoggy in there all the time. That's what it looked like.
Plenty of sausage and pepperonis. Everything but the little fishies.
And so I dashed into the kitchen and I'm frantically looking at everything. I'm unplugging everything. I'm opening the oven. I'm looking at the stovetop. I'm like, everything looks fine. I was breathing heavy. My heart was racing. And then, of course, I didn't have my phone because I would have just texted Brandon, like, come inside. I think something's happening. But there was just smoke pouring into the apartment and I had no clue where it was coming from. I quickly ran back to the car. Brandon, you have to come in. Like, I think the apartment's on fire. I don't know what's going on. He came running. And he was like, I knew when I saw you running that something happened. So y'all know my ass is not about to run for no reason. So we get back inside. We're looking around at everything. We're checking everything. We're just spinning our wheels like we don't know what to do. I'm about to call 911. It was just panic. Like, and I've never seen Brandon freak out. When your kitchen is filled up with smoke and you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know what's going on. So scary. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry if this sounds dramatic, but this was actually terrifying. We just start coughing. Like, we are just hacking up a lung in here. It was actually like that. Yeah, growing up, my mom was always burning food and the smoke alarm would go off and all that, but it was never like unbreathable. It was never like I had to run out of the room because I couldn't breathe. Like, that's how bad it was in this kitchen. But I start opening up the windows and turning all the fans on and just, I'm like, I have to go outside. Like, I can't even be in here. I'm looking at my neighbor's house and there's like nothing going on in there. Nothing. Are you alive? Are you good? Did you burn your kitchen down? So we left. And we went to the store. We just didn't know what to do. We were never put in a position like this. So we were like, okay, if we go back home after the grocery store, which will be like half hour, 45 minutes, if it is still smoky, we have to do something. When we got home, it was still filled with smoke and this smell would not leave. I should also mention right here that my neighbor also had all of her windows open at this point, thank God, so I knew she was alive, so I just went and sat outside all day. I was like, I can't even be in here, and I just remember being so irritated. Like, all I wanted to do was just like come home and relax. We were out walking and like, I just want to come inside and chill, and now I'm just gonna go sit outside under a tree. Amidst the apartment filled with smoke, Brandon purchased renter's insurance for $10 a month. I'm stunned. It sounds like such a dumb story, right? But in the moment, everything is flashing before your eyes. I'm like, do I have to like evacuate here? Is this place burning down? Because I don't know about you, but I hold this horrible fear in the back of my mind of my house burning down. In that moment, it was just, it felt like the end. Like, it felt like so. It made me realize how kind of scary it is living in an apartment that you're so dependent on other people's safety. There's this old woman that's not that mentally stable downstairs burning food. Fire scary. Fire bad. Fire very bad. I also saw a TikTok telling me that I shouldn't leave my phone plugged in overnight. Firefighters like recommend that you plug your phone during the day and like don't leave it, especially in your blankets. I'm like, I have this theory that everything we do daily is like actually super dangerous, but we're just narrowly avoiding death. And people try to tell me I don't have anxiety. Are you kidding? That's what my brain tells me. I've never had an experience like this with neighbors ever. I mean, I even had a drug dealer neighbor and it wasn't this chaotic. Yeah, the police showed up, but like, you know, normal crackhead things. None of this. Crackhead versus crazy old lady. I might take the crackhead. Then after this, it's just one thing after another. Just when we're like, oh, we haven't heard from her in a while, something happens. It seemed like every day when Brandon would come home, she would ask him something or tell him something. She accused me of banging on the water pipes. The one day Brandon comes home, right, and she is like, there's leaking in my apartment. And he's like, oh, really? And she's like, well, I know that these sort of things can be targeted. I know you didn't just say that. You and I both know you didn't just say these things can be targeted. You think that we broke a pipe in our apartment just so that there'd be water dripping down to yours? So then the plumber comes. He comes up here and he inspects it. He's like, oh, everything looks fine here. I'm like, okay, cool. Make sure you tell the lady downstairs that. I didn't say that though. I'm not that petty IRL. Guys, like I come on here, I pop off, then I get offline and I'm just like, plumber comes, inspects everything. You know, he did find leaking downstairs. I was skeptical if she was even lying about that. There were like water stains there, but everything was clear up here, so nothing from our end was leaking to hers. Later that day, I come home to a note on the door telling me that the plumber found bees in the wall. Now, if you saw my last video, you're probably thinking, Adria, didn't you have like hornets in your house? Yes. That looks dangerous to me. Oh my God, is anyone like an exterminator? What do I do? This is completely unrelated. I found where those hornets were coming in from. They were coming in through a little hole in my window. The plumber was nowhere near that window. He would have no way of knowing that there were hornets near my wall. And my question to her is, if the plumber found hornets in your wall or our wall or whatever wall, one, why didn't he tell me that? Two, why wasn't there an exterminator? Why? You would think the landlord would have an exterminator out there the next day. No, nothing ever came of that. The gaslighting. It's the gaslighting for me. I can't, y'all. I can't. And you know, Brandon says that I take this stuff too seriously. I'm thinking too much about it. I let it bother me too much. You know what? It doesn't even bother me. I'm just baffled. Like, I'm stunned. It shocked me at first. If y'all remember my first story time about my neighbor, like I was a little caught off guard, but like now it's like, this is just daily shit. This is just how it goes. This is my life now. It's almost as if she just makes shit up just to leave notes on the door, just to bother me. But thank you for the content. I have to thank you. And something else I still can't make sense of, maybe you guys can help me try to figure this out, is she is convinced that we have a third person living in our apartment. And Brandon told her, no, it's just us. There's nobody else here. She's like, well, you have a third person. I think I know who it is. Pardon? I can't, wait, what? Pardon? She's convinced that we have a third person living here. I'm in my second bedroom. Do you see this? Do you think anybody besides me would live in this? No. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys this. Okay, this is so funny. So then the neighbor was complaining to our landlords about the overhead of her apartment, like over her porch, right? Which is attached to us, saying that it's leaking or that it's broken. I don't know, right? It's like an awning, saying that it's not broken. I can tell you right now, it's not broken. The landlords were having a guy that lives in our neighborhood come to look at it. So we happened to run into him in the parking lot and he's like, oh, I never got around to it. I had to work and blah, 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 blah. And Brandon's like, oh, it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it anyway. He's like, yeah, I think it's just the old woman downstairs. I think she's crazy. He even went like this. Like, she's crazy. And we were both like, oh, he said it, not us. I would never be the first one to say something because my mom always told me, like, don't say anything bad about anybody. You don't know who knows who. I'm not gonna start just talking shit. I live by that, but if you open the gate, I'll walk in. And I said, don't get me started. The fact that someone else acknowledged, like, it made my whole day. Because I'm like, now I know I'm not crazy. Other people acknowledge it too. He straight up said she's crazy. Thank you, sir. This is a mess. Ask people about the neighbors when you're gonna move in. You know, she still tries to get our phone numbers too. And like, she's left her phone number with us more times than I should just prank call her in a video. No, I won't. No, I'm bluffing. I can't even call to order a pizza. I'm not gonna do that. So it's the gaslighting for me. I need to put that in this like video title somehow. I'll put it in the thumbnail. It's the gaslighting for me. Wherever I move next, wherever that may be, I was just about to say, I know it can't be worse than this, but I know as soon as I say that, it'll get worse. She's something. And you know what is weird? Throughout the pandemic, I have not seen her wear a mask a single time. Comes to my door, no mask on. I see her going to her car, no mask. There's no mask in her car. I think she's one of the no mask people. Like, that's all you need to know. I should have started the video off with that. That explains everything. just do what you should. That's a whole nother video. I have a pet peeves video coming soon. I started writing a list of pet peeves. Let me know if y'all are excited for that. I want to do a Sims 4 video, Brandon and I making my neighbor and our apartment. That could be hilarious and fun. Thank you guys for watching today, hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed at my expense, like you usually probably do on this channel. If you would like to watch some more of my videos, there's a playlist up here. Today, I'm giving a shout out on Twitter to Lee at Comedy Addict. Thanks, girl. She likes all my tweets, so if you would like a shout out, spam me. I will see you guys again real soon. Until then, panda hugs, love you guys, bye! Pray for my mental health and sanity. Just pray for it.